Hey, this is Hans from Requests for Music. Suddenly this morning I realized that I could easily use harmonics to be a polyphonic synthesizer actually. Um, because I have 16 external inputs and I can easily use it as an 8-voice polyphonic synthesizer. There are some things that I have to do first. Of course, I need at least 8 harmonics, so just switch 0 to 7 on. I want them to be equally strong in volume, so I go to flat setting, and instead of using the harmonic, I'm using the unison, so they all keep the same frequency. And what I can do then is look at my, hang on 1 second, I need to get this in. Because one of the modules that I make, I'll just do a search on all my harmonics modules. So F underscore H, F underscore, and sorry, that'll show me all the modules that I did. And one that I have done in the meantime is creating a poly to mono module, and that's exactly what I need. I'll switch off the library. So my harmonics is now connected to my main output through my delay. So if everything's fine, if I would normally have the pitch and the gate connected, I would have one note, so I can set this to but now it would be easy to, or easy, I have to be very secure in what I'm doing, but I'm not going to connect my pitch and my gate because now I want my poly pitch and my poly gate as inputs. I do not have enough inputs in my harmonics to use the velocity as well, but first of all, start with this. So what I would want is that I have my pitch from the first poly voice going to my first harmonic, and then the second to the second, and so on. So I would just hook this up. I have my cables set to invisible so it doesn't mess up my full screen, because otherwise, of course, if I do something like this and switch those on, it would be really messy. So I switch the cables off, and I do the same for my external gate, and I might color these different to make obvious that I have those connected. So I would go on that way, and then afterwards, of course I have to connect everything that way, but afterwards I need to make sure that my source, which is external 1, so I would have to look at this, external 1, and I'll just give it a null, because it doesn't really need the source index for this case. I just want my external in going to target number 0, and I'm going to change the pitch of that, and I'm going to put that to full level and just add this, and I can just do the same for all of the externals. So external 2 is going to 1, add to the pitch as well, and so on. And then if I look at the gate afterwards, if I've done all of these, I would take my external 9, because that's the second column in here that would give me all of the gates. I would make sure that external 9 is going to number 0 gate, and so on. So I would have to change this, and of course that's quite some settings, but afterwards you would end up with a complete polysynth. So I've actually already created one, so I'm going to take that in. So as you can see, I've got all of those cables, and there's some extra in here, but just look at the harmonics module first. So I've got all of the externals set up, and I can have a look at all of the paths, and you'll see that external 1 is going to 0 pitch, and you see all of the pitches for all of the 8 oscillators, then all of the gates for all of those. So now when I press a key, and to to make sure that I edit everything, I'm going to switch this to edit all and just dial something back. I did already have some extra pitch connected, but I'll leave that for now. So, and I'll turn the sound up. Turn it up even more. So. And I got it set to triangle now, but obviously I could do this for a sawtooth as well, and I would have these shorter things. Let's dial the maybe use some less reverb and a bit less echo as well. And as a pad, just dial up my attack and my decay, get back of my sustain, and something like that. And the next thing would be, if I do it like this, that I could use my 16, 17 and so on to actually modulate, phase modulate number 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. That would mean that 16 would have to use the same externals for pitch and for gate. I would have to set all of them again. So in that case, yeah, quite some work again, but still that would be doable. And if everything's okay, I tried to create one already. So let's see where I have those at the moment. You'll probably see this, but that's not really a problem. So I go into my folder where I have that stuff together. So sounds, and let's see, where is it again? There it is, and there's my second one that I created. So in here I've got, well, the same setting, of course, for all of the gates, the external ins for the pitch, which is the first column, and the external in for the gates, which is the second column. And there's 16 harmonics selected, all at flat, all at unison. And yeah, that means that I could just go through this by looking at the complete list, and you'll probably not see all of them, but the first setting is the pitches, then the gates, and then from here you see that number 16 is now going into the phase, and then afterwards those are getting the pitches as well. So so this one is the first of all, it's driving, number 16 is driving the phase of target 0 and so on. And here I've got the pitches and the gate settings for all of those extra oscillators. So so that seems to be okay. So something like that. And I actually used my LFO going through a mixer to get the signal not as strong as it is normally, and just do this as an overall pitch drive in here, so it gets that pitch all of the time. So that's why I have this, because this is still driving the harmonic, each of the harmonics ADSR. So, and this is driving the overall pitch. So and now I could actually use my current setting to go into, for instance, number 16 and set that decay shorter, and do the same for 17 and 18, because they are driving the phase of the lower numbers. I won't say it's easy. You really have to be very consistent in what you're doing, but it is possible. So suddenly you have an extra polyphonic synthesizer. Something like that. And if I would have done it a bit with a bit more thought while creating this, I could have used stuff like this, because I have the even or the odd settings. And if I would have set my basic oscillators, my carrier, so to speak, on number 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and 14, I could have set the other oscillators to those would have been the carriers, and then the modulators would be the odd signals, and I could set those envelopes for both of them separately. So that would be easier to create a sound with that. But still, it works. I'll take these out and I'll change. I'll get back to this and just change my my attack for all of them. So for all of the lower ones, or all of the modulators, so to speak. And for the other oscillators, yeah, that looks good. So I think that would be adding up to a pretty useful polyphonic synthesizer that way. So just wanted to let you know, and I'll see you back in a new video later on. Cheers, bye bye.